Hello again, everyone. Welcome to the Rome Floyd Chamber Small Business Spotlight. My name is Roger Manus with Rome Business Radio, and we are broadcasting from our remote Hardy Realty studios, and we work in cooperation with the Rome News Tribune. We are represented on today's show by the Chamber with Thomas Kislat. Thomas, how are you?
Doing well. Nice to be here.
And our guests today are Ryan Somerville with Business Water Solutions and Jack Knight with Knight's Car Store. So we are talking water and we are talking used cars today on the Small Business Spotlight. So first of all, gentlemen, how are you? Jack, can you hear me okay?
Good.
Ryan, are you good? Ryan, are you there? Can you hear me all right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we are broadcasting virtually via Zoom due to the pandemic, of course. But so we're seeing each other. Of course, our podcast listeners are just hearing the audio. So glad everybody can chat and see one another. So thank everybody for joining us. Ryan, let's start with you because I'm intrigued by the name Business Water Solutions. I did a little bit of Googling, but you guys basically offer clean water for public places, right? Businesses, schools, things like that. Just expand on that if you could for me.
Yeah. So what we do is we do water purification cooler that does reverse osmosis for businesses, small businesses, large businesses. The school systems have been wonderful for us really since April. We do a little residential, but not too much right now. And then we do ice machines for restaurants like Moe's Barbecue in Rome. So.
Oh, been there. So the ice is clean. The ice is clean. Good. I don't know what reverse osmosis is, but we'll circle back around, and I guess maybe you can educate me. I want to say hey to Jack here quickly. Okay. Jack, tell me about Knight's Car Store. Everybody's seen it a million times driving by there at John Davenport and Martha Berry. You guys sell cars. How long have you been in business? Things like that.
Wow. I've actually been here since 1985 when I owned the Nissan dealership. We sold it in 2006, and I have had used cars almost since then here in the same facility.
And how is the used car business here during the pandemic?
It's good. The prices are when all the new cars, they ran out of new cars, prices on used cars went up, of course. But we're seeing that come back down a little bit now. So it's been okay.
I mean, the pricing, but I mean, has your foot traffic been affected, early on? Maybe now life's kind of getting back to normal, but of course we're spiking again. Who knows what's going to happen, but
I hope not.
Yeah.
At first, March and April were when nobody came around. Mm-hmm. Everybody was so afraid, but then it gradually has gotten a lot better. And traffic's almost back to normal now, but we're seeing just a normal seasonal drop. October, November usually are drop-offs, and then it picks back up in December.
I got you. So Ryan, back to you now here on before I forget, reverse osmosis. Talk to me, educate me.
Yeah. So it's pretty simple. Basically, our system recognizes any bad that comes from your city or county water. Any bad water it recognizes it's going to shoot it out through your drain. And so all that's left, it goes through 4 more filters. And what's left is really super clean water. And then our last filter adds some vitamins, some minerals, some calcium, some electrolytes to the water. So basically, reverse osmosis, or we call RO, it just sends any bad that is in your city or county water out. Yeah, that's it.
Well, it's interesting, Thomas, from the Chamber's perspective, Knight's Car Store, it's a visible business, face to face, but yet Business Water Solutions, like he just mentioned, they provide, clean ice for Moe's Barbecue. It might be something that a customer doesn't even know they're engaging. So I guess, Thomas, to the point from the Chamber is business works in all different kinds of ways, doesn't it? For the consumer.
Absolutely. And, we were pleased to have Ryan and BWS representing at the Chamber Virtual Expo, which happened just 10 days ago, and which was, a huge success. We just got the numbers back from Romega Digital. We ended up with over 85 exhibitors. We had almost 1,900 visitors. So, we try to make everybody visible, present. We try to connect the dots, and that's the chamber's job. And I'm so happy to work with Ryan. We met back in spring, and his business is just exploding since then.
Yeah, Ryan, how has the pandemic affected you guys? Good or bad, or are people now realizing, we need like touchless water solutions, things like that?
Well, at first, March and April hit, and we were like, what do we do? We do a lot of, like for me, I don't travel too much in terms of outside of Northwest Georgia, and we have another sales rep in Chattanooga, but we kind of took a step back and said, let's kind of chill out. Let's not go into any businesses. Let's be smart about this. We don't want to make anybody mad. And then the company that we get all of our water machines from created a foot pedal and made it touchless. So in May and kind of June, July, we did all the city schools in Rome. We did Darlington. We did all of Bremen city schools. We did all of Polk schools. And so we started to really get into a lot of schools. So within the school system around Northwest Georgia, we probably have close to 200 of our water machines right now, and that's over 100 in Rome. So it actually helped us.
Is it different dealing with private business versus government? Because obviously you're having to go through the government to get in the schools.
Yeah, well, the schools have been actually the easiest to get into. They've been the most welcoming. I mean, I went into probably, 20 plus schools in Carrollton last week, and they are the nicest people that I deal with. They are very accommodating, and they at least listen to you. And with this foot pedal that we got now, it's been a game changer for us because it makes the system completely touchless, and we just replaced their old water fountains. So obviously, every water fountain in every school that I've been to has been shut off. And so we come in and replace the water fountain for them. We do that for free. And we do our installs for free. So this foot pedal has been huge for us.
Yeah. I'm just fascinated by the fact that your product, people are consuming it and not knowing it. But yet the business or the school knows it. But Jack's business is very much a face-to-face relationship product, of course. But so Jack, just talk to me about the art of selling cars. Do you have return customers that come back to you forever?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the one thing you strive for is repeat customers and referrals from happy customers. And we have 3 people that work on the floor, and I would say probably half their business comes from repeat customers.
So when a customer comes in there, you're listening to what their needs are. The art of sales, I'm asking, it would be they're wanting. You don't talk them into something they don't want. You're listening to them and you're trying to match them.
You've said the 2 words that they either need a car or they want a car.
Right.
And if they need a car, it's pretty desperate. They're going to buy a car that day. But if they want a car, people typically will shop around for 2 or 3 days and then decide what they want. And we offer all in-house financing. I mean, bank financing, credit union financing. No buy here, pay here. We're strictly. It's one of the few lots you can ride around and see. Probably right now we have Acura, Lexus, Infiniti, Highlanders, but then we also have a huge selection of under $10,000 cars.
Gotcha.
So we carry the whole spectrum.
You've carried the whole spectrum of prices and model types, SUVs, sedans, compacts.
Oh yeah. The only thing that we're really short on is trucks, just like everybody else.
Well, yeah,
you can't get enough trucks.
Yeah, especially in Rome and Floyd County, it's hard to ride around and not see a lot of trucks,
especially lately.
Yeah. So, Ryan, what was the Business Expo like for you guys that Thomas touched on a little bit ago?
It was great. Obviously, we wish we could have gone and done it at the forum, and hopefully they'll be able to work some out for us where we can do that. Because, with our product, people really need to just see it. We sponsored Barry's marathon or their 5K race right before COVID hit in March. And we were their main sponsor, which was awesome. But we were able to bring about 4 or 5 of our systems that we can do. We have, like I said, we have a couple systems that do water and ice, which is kind of cool for businesses now. And so hopefully we will be able to go in-house at the forum and kind of show more people in Floyd County just more about our product. But yeah, our product, our business, you really have to see our product to kind of understand what we do. And it's a really good looking system. So hopefully they'll do something in January or February. We can show more people kind of what we do.
This may be a stupid question, but that's okay. Does it taste different?
I think it does. And it comes out super cold, or you can actually, we have the hot water comes out at like 170, 180. So we have a lot of customers that do coffee, tea, oatmeal, noodles. And then the cold water comes out at like 37 to 38. But I think it tastes better, especially that calcium and some of those minerals and vitamins that get added to that last or the last filter adds some of those vitamins to it. So I think it tastes better. And I think our customers believe the same thing.
Hey, Thomas, he mentioned the virtual aspect of the expo, working for these guys, but I know we've touched on this before. Assuming the world is back to normal soon, will a virtual component probably always be included in the expo now moving forward? Was it that big a success for you guys that we always want the face-to-face, but now you guys think at the chamber that you'll always do a virtual component of it?
Yeah, absolutely. It'll be a second component to our annual expo, just because the reach is just way beyond our county lines, which is a beautiful thing. So just having customers from across the country, California, Michigan, we had customers from there and visitors from there. It's just a broader reach. Everybody goes online these days, and everybody had to pivot. However, you can't replace the face-to-face, and you can explain a product. It's just better to do that on the floor, face-to-face. But we will definitely go on and offer that virtual component for the years to come.
Jack, what is your customer base there at Knight's Car Store? Is it pretty much limited to a close geographical area?
Vast majority is, but today we have one going out to a girl in Brunswick who's been able to see it online. Then her grandfather, who lives here, came in and drove it, but he's going to take it to her in Brunswick. But we typically stay within Northwest Georgia.
Right.
It's rare for us to ship one all the way to Arkansas or somewhere. As far as buying, though, we do go quite a ways out to buy them.
Well, yeah, that's another thing I was going to ask. How do you get your inventory?
I personally probably attend 2 or 3 auctions a week in person, and then online another 3 or 4 a week, and then we try to buy from customers. Street purchases is what they're called. So we're looking everywhere we can.
Right. And then you fix them up, flip them, I guess would be the real estate term.
Now we fix them up. In fact, we thoroughly do at least 100-point inspection on every car, probably put new battery, tires on every one. There's not going to be a problem with any of them.
Right.
We fix everything.
Perfect. What is you had touched on your background there a little bit, having had a dealership. What is your career? Are you born and raised in Rome? What's your life background?
Yeah, I was born and raised in Rome. Went to the University of Georgia, came back to Rome in 1985, and have been in the car business here ever since.
So your business, the marketing of your business is basically long-time relationships, your last name, standing by your product.
That is correct. Absolutely.
Or do you mentioned the people that work for you, any family relationships there or?
Yeah, my wife runs the office, and she's on the chamber down there, the board of the chamber, Nancy Knight. And my son started working here about 2 years ago, and so there's family here.
Yeah, and it's interesting to me. You said because I never would have thought of this. Somebody had looked at one online, and their grandfather's coming. That's an interesting way to sell a car. Ryan, what is your background?
Yeah, I grew up in Rome. Went to University of Alabama, and
on purpose?
Yes, sir.
So you couldn't get into Georgia?
I could not actually. I could not.
I'm teasing.
And then I came back to Rome and I worked in the insurance business. And then in 2010, I had an opportunity to own some Zaxby's up in North Carolina near Raleigh. And so I moved in the end of 2010, and I franchised 2 Zaxby's, and then with my cousin. And we decided about a year and a half ago, I wanted to spend some more time with my kids and family. So we sold them, August of last year. And I moved back to Rome, and my wife is from Rome too. So it was a pretty easy transition. But yeah, that business is, will kind of wear you out, the fast food world. So I did that again for 10 years and decided that it was time to spend some more time at home. So
how did you get involved with Business Water Solutions?
I was looking for kind of a job where I could manage people. And with Zaxby's, I had about 90 employees that I kind of managed kind of all by myself. I had about 8 managers and then a total of like 90 employees. But you know how it goes. I pretty much was doing it all. And so with BWS, I had the opportunity. Mike and George Barron reached out to me and said, "Hey, we got a spot for you to kind of grow our business. We need help." And so, yeah, that was the start of that. And I started December of last year, so almost a year ago. And it's been awesome. Right now, I don't have 90 employees to manage. I only have a few and have weekends off. So it's not too bad of a gig right now.
Well, and you mentioned your footprint earlier. It's Northwest Georgia into Chattanooga, but what's the plan here?
Yeah, well, we're expanding. We're in Alabama now. We're trying to grow as much as possible. Obviously, we don't want to grow so fast where we somehow don't are not able to offer something to a customer or service-wise. We do free service, we do free maintenance, and obviously we have a 24-hour guarantee for that. So we don't want to expand so fast where we're not able to be able to go against a promise that we give to a customer. But yeah, we're growing like crazy. Northwest Georgia is obviously our big footprint because that's where we're located, but Chattanooga is growing like crazy. And then obviously we just got into Alabama. And so, yeah, we're taking it, we're doing as much as we can, but also being a little careful in terms of how fast we grow.
Right, because you still want to be able to serve the customers well that you already have established, right? Jack, one of the things I like asking people who own their own business and have grown their own business, what in your DNA way back when, lots of people just want to go get a job, but you obviously wanted to control your own fate, be your own boss, own your own business, but there's risk reward with that. Talk to me about the mindset of owning it.
Well, actually, the car business has been in the family for a long time. I grew up around it. My father started in 1960 with Volkswagen, local Volkswagen dealership, and grew from there up to Honda and Nissan, Mazda. And so I've always been around the car business. And I, like I said, 1985, I came back from and joined up with him. And it's just been a great experience for me, and it's something I've always been around.
So, but no desire at any point to ever go do anything else. It just got in your blood from your family DNA.
Basically, yeah. We lived in Atlanta for about a year after college, just like back in the early 80s. Everybody moved to Atlanta for a short period of time. And then right at about the time we had our first son, we moved to Rome and been here ever since.
Yeah, it's. I've asked my father this before. My father has always been an entrepreneur, and I asked him many, many years ago. Because there are times when you're doing that where times are bad and times are good. And I said, Dad, when times were bad, did you ever think about going and just getting a job? And he said, no. And I said, well, why not? He said, well, I don't exactly take orders well. So I'm always fascinated by the mindset of the person who takes the risk, who is, on top of a business. In your situation, it was a family thing and you just gravitated toward it. Ryan here on the other situation he bounced from one career to another to looking for a better fit for him. And he knew what he liked to do. He liked to manage people. He wanted to balance that with family time. So it's just, that's one of the interesting things about this podcast as we talk business is how people get to where they are. One of the things I want to talk about is marketing. Jack, obviously you do it with family name and just years of relationships. And this podcast will serve as a marketing tool, but do you have to advertise constantly? Is it specific because you have this car in? Or are you just generally trying to get your name out there all the time? Is it newspapers? Is it social media? Is it radio? What all do you have to do or not do?
We do a little bit of everything you mentioned above, a little bit in the home news, a little bit in the radio, a lot more on social media. I've never done a TV ad. It's just too costly. But social media is really where everything's moving toward.
Right. I mean, obviously that has been a big change over the last 10 years. What else in your industry maybe has changed over the last 10, 20, 30 years?
Well, the cars are a lot better now. They last longer. People aren't afraid to buy a 5-year-old car, and it's a third of what a brand new one would be. And the length of time people actually shop for cars is shrunk tremendously. Even 15 years ago, 10 years ago, people would literally visit 9 or 10 stores, where now online they can see the car. They can virtually do everything except drive the car. And they're down to maybe looking at 2 to 3 stores. And it's cut down their length of time tremendously. So everything's got to be, it's all timing now. It's the length of time from the time you buy the car to the time you get it on the lot. If you can get that down to 2 days, then it's online and people can look at it. All you got to do is go Google a 2017 Altima or Lexus, and it'll pull right up. And you can go as far as to fill out credit applications on the website. You can do just about everything except drive the car or sign the papers.
So that's interesting. A lot of the legwork for the customer can now be done virtually.
Yes. Oh yeah.
So you put every car on your website, every car on your lot. Is there a little bit of a bio of the car on the website, the picture and the
Absolutely. There's usually 25 to 30 pictures, nice description. You can pull a Carfax on the website. You can do it's very in depth. Right.
Okay. Yeah. That is interesting. It's been a long time since I bought a car. I'm driving an 8-year-old one now, but it's paid for. So,
there you go.
Till the wheels run off. Ryan, what about you guys from a marketing perspective? You're in a little bit of a different situation where you're not connecting to the public as much. So, newspaper, radio, what do y'all do?
We do a ton of social media.
There we go.
Instagram, Facebook. We don't do Twitter, but what we do is whenever we do an install with a business or a school or whatever, we take a picture of the machine, we take a picture of the business, and then we promote it on Instagram or Facebook. And the customer really appreciates that. And then we spend some money to kind of promote it as well, or advertise for that business. So it's kind of something new that we started doing where if we do, we put one of our machines or ice machines out of business, we actually end up promoting the business that we just put it in and put them out on Instagram or Facebook. Like, hey, we just installed one at Moe's Barbecue or La Scala, come by and see them. And then they normally repost it. So we, not only do we get our followers, but we get their followers as well, because they repost our posts.
And Thomas, how important is it for the chamber to help businesses network with each other?
Well, you touched the online world, and in the online world, content is king. It's not just like you go online and put an ad in, like the newspaper or the radio. They kind of like do that job for you. But, you pay for that service. Now you can do it yourself, but, content is king. We heard from Jack, he has to post 25 pictures and do a nice description. That's done on purpose. We call it search engine optimization. So you can be found online or in Google, like high up in the rankings. So there's a lot of work, and people need to be informed and enlightened by the online world. So it's not just like a quick post here or there. So it's actually really time consuming. The beauty of it is that you can track and monitor your success, which is sometimes, with a newspaper ad, I mean, the reach might be broader, but you don't really know what the return is unless you ask the customer. Now you can actually go into the search engines and, get a detailed report, and you explore new markets, new possibilities that you haven't really thought of. But, also on the networking point of view, Ryan mentioned, you go to other places, other businesses, you ask them, hey, can we exchange links, or can we post something there? Can you reshare something there? That only works if you reach out and connect. So basically it's just, everything is done on a virtual screen side, but works pretty much the same though.
Yeah. Life has changed for all of us with social media over the last decade, business and personal life and everything. So let's just do some contact information, mentioning social media and your websites. Jack, how can people, contact you guys? What's your website? Things like that. How can they do their car shopping online with you and your location?
The website's knightscarstore.com. It's very easy.
And that's Knights with a K.
Sales at knightscarstore.com. Or just very convenient downtown. Just drive by.
Yeah. Corner of John Davenport and Martha Berry. Everybody knows where that is.
It's a railroad passing.
And social media, any social media, on Facebook, things like that?
We're on Facebook, Instagram, basically Facebook and Instagram.
And Knight's Car Store is spelled Knights.
Yes.
Yeah. And Ryan, contact information for you guys. How can they get more information about Business Water Solutions?
Yeah, just go to our website, businesswatersolutions.com, search us on Facebook and Instagram, and it has my cell phone number, email, and all of our information on there as well.
And Thomas, anybody wants to connect with the chamber?
Easiest way is just to Google Rome Floyd Chamber, and we pop up right away. But if you want to have detailed information, romega.com is our website. Directs you to all the other sublinks that we have. Phone number is 706-291-7663, and reach out to us.
And whether you're local in Rome, Floyd County, or listening to us globally on the World Wide Web, come buy a car at Knight's Car Store. Get clean water at Business Water Solutions. Thank you, gentlemen. That's Ryan Somerville with Business Water Solutions, Jack Knight with Knight's Car Store, and Thomas Kislat with the Rome Floyd Chamber. Thank you all for joining us.
Oh, thank you.
Appreciate it. I am Roger Manus with Rome Business Radio. We have been broadcasting from the remote Hardy Realty Studios, and we work in cooperation with the Rome News Tribune. Thank you for listening.